Welcome back. I have just lost to the Pokimane-bot, which is rated 1000. As you can see from the little graph up at the top of the screen, I was ahead significantly from way back here when the bot blundered its queen, and then I hung mate in 2 there at the end. So, not quite as embarrassing as when I lost to the Martin bot, which was rated 250, but still embarrassing enough. I'm going to play this bot again, which I think we can go to the computer, and we will play the Pokimane-bot, random colors, and see if I can't do a little bit better this time. Okay, knight to f3. Why not knight to f6 and see what kind of opening we're going to get? We're going to get an English. Well, I see that so rarely at my level. I assume we start seeing that a little bit more often at higher levels. I really don't know what to play against the English, except I guess I can play symmetrical. Symmetrical variation. I don't know if that's good or not, but I know I can take out a center pawn, so I'm going to do it. That's one thing I don't like about many of these bots is the playing of odd or unusual openings, but I guess that's as good a reason as any to play them, because I need to learn some of those openings. I don't know if that's good. I do know it allows me to develop my dark squared bishop so I can castle. I could develop here, but then they can block with either knight. But I can't develop here, or I shouldn't. Or I could just chase the knight for a second with my pawn. Or develop another piece. That is the question. Well, they've got my d-pawn locked down pretty good right now because the knight and their queen are guarding that spot. Or maybe I can go there because my bishop and queen would both be guarding that spot. But I can't go any higher, and then that would block in my dark squared bishop. So yeah, let's do that first. Okay, they blocked with the knight, so now I'm going to castle and then see what happens. Okay. Don't know. See where that knight's going to go. Oh, it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, well, let's take it. It's going to give me another piece? Maybe I don't want that one yet, because that would help the light squared bishop develop. Maybe I should take that, and then this pawn is unguarded. Should I trade off my dark squared bishop this early? I've already split these pawns into this weird island over here, and I haven't developed a bunch of pieces. So it's possible I shouldn't be attacking just yet. I can get out my light squared bishop by moving this pawn. Don't think that does anything. No, I don't think that does anything. And they still haven't taken this pawn back, which is just weird. Let's develop this light squared bishop here. Okay, they finally took the pawn back. But now I have 2 pieces attacking over here, and I have most of my pieces developed. So, wondering about that. Or should I develop the knight first before I start attacking? I should develop my pieces before I start attacking, connect the rooks, and so on and so forth. Okay, I don't think that's a really great square because that really can't come through here yet. It might be able to eventually because I'm wondering if this knight is not about to move right there. Now might be the time to trade off that knight for my bishop. I am a piece ahead, so I think 2 knights for the bishop pair should be okay, because I still do have 1 bishop that is now going to go pick up that pawn. Or should I get the pawn with my rook? Good question. You know what? I should move this knight one square further and see what that bishop wants to do. That bishop doesn't want to do anything. Okay, we're going to take the bishop pair from my opponent at this point. Still leaving that pawn on the back burner. Okay. I do know that they can add an attacker to this pawn pretty quick, but not sure what can be done. I guess I could move it up, and then I will have 1, 2, 3 pieces guarding that square. And then so when the pawn takes back, assuming the pawn takes, because if the pawn doesn't take, I'm going to advance again. But if oh no, if I advance, that leaves this pawn undefended. That's what happens when a pawn moves. It doesn't defend those 2 squares anymore. Right now, this pawn is guarding those 2 squares. Okay. I'm going to take that pawn now. Okay. I've been wanting to take that pawn for some time. So it was only right that I took it now. And now I have control of this open file. Or mostly control of it. And now I think I want to blockade that pawn, but I don't know if it's the right time. I do know I still want to push this, but that pawn's undefended, which tells me I need to move this rook to E, whatever that is, E8. So I'm going to do that. Also, that gets that rook off this diagonal in case that bishop comes over there. Okay, so I think that was a good move. That, should they be attacking right now? I don't know. But I do know I have to be careful as to where this knight can go. Should I create a little hidey hole for the knight right now? I don't know. I think I want to go ahead with my plan because now this pawn is defended from behind with the rook. I want to push this pawn. I think if that pawn goes forward, I will come out. The king came forward. I think that was a mistake. I'm going to push. Should I push or should I take? I should take with my knight. Okay, the bishop finally decided to move. Okay. That's probably not a horrible square for the bishop, and now they've gotten out of the way of their rook, which guards all this. I think I have a nice tactic right here, because I will not only be pointing at this undefended doubled pawn, but through the queen to this rook. And I don't know what they're going to be able to do about it, because if they take here, I will get the rook for a bishop either way, and then we'll be looking at a queen trade. So I think that's good, but I'm about to find out. They did not. Okay. That was, as far as I know, the first huge blunder by the bot. Earlier there was at least one mistake, but there I just get the queen for a bishop. Which, big sigh of relief. Their queen is off the board. I'm up 10 points of material. But I was up more than that when I lost to this bot in the game that I started this video with. So I want to finish off this bot as quickly as possible, not dilly-dally like I did in the last one. I am thinking... that pawn's undefended. I should push this pawn first, because I was thinking about taking my queen to h4, looking at that square. However, moving my queen leaves this pawn undefended for an infiltration here. So I think I can defend this pawn by pushing it, and then take queen to h4. That will leave the knight undefended, but the knight's not in danger right now and can fairly easily move. For example, here. So I am going to move this pawn. Okay. Now they have defended the pawn that I was aiming at with my 2 pieces. So that plan may be off the table. What else can I do? I can sneak around the back, but I don't know what that helps. Or I can threaten this bishop. Where's the bishop going to go? Back? Guess I could go forward. No, my knight will get it there. My queen will get it there. My rook will get it there. My king will get it there, because I will kill a bishop with my king. So I assume it would go back. If I move here, I guess it could go back there, maybe. But if it goes back this way, once my rook is here, that will leave this square undefended. Right now the bishop is guarding that square. So I want to move my rook here to force this bishop back so I can come here and win this pawn. The bishop didn't move. But my knight has been threatened. Okay. As we discussed earlier, I can pull my knight to right here. I think that's what I'm going to do. And then take the bishop. And now I'm threatening both of these pawns, but mainly this one. Okay, that just undefended that pawn. That doesn't do anything. Okay. I think after a certain point the bot began to self-destruct. But again, I'm going to be very careful because of what happened in the last game. I'm going to take as many pieces off the board as I can and try to just completely decimate the bot. And I'm going to try to do it without losing any of my pieces. So I can protect that knight by taking this pawn, which I wanted to do anyway. And now I can bring my queen to help protect the rook, and then I can bring my other rook over this way to get control of the A file. But my back rank is weak, so I'm going to create this so I don't have to worry about it. That's what happened in my last game with Pokimane, if that's how you say the name. I did not create a getaway square for my king, and I left my back rank undefended. So we are not going to do that here. We are going to go this way. And what do I need to do here to finish this off? My queen is lined up with their king on this diagonal, but the pawn is in the way. So I want to move the knight so I can move this pawn. And when that pawn, okay, they saw that coming. When the pawn moves, that was going to be check. But what do I have? And now that I move this pawn, I can't get my queen all the way over that way. But I can take this pawn. And then that's mate. Okay. Well, I will put the link to both games in the description of this video. I think I saved the other one so that you can see the one that I lost. If you're interested, you can see where I got the big advantage and then blundered mate at the end. In this one, let's run the game review. Okay, it says I did pretty well. It says I played with 86.5% accuracy with 0 blunders, 0 mistakes, 0 missed wins, and only 1 inaccuracy. So the reason the score is not in the 90s is because I guess I played some okay moves that weren't best, and so that kind of lowered the accuracy a little bit, perhaps. Just out of curiosity, yeah, it was a very strange opening. It says this is the English opening that I've played 19 times. I don't think I have. I don't think I've ever played the English opening with white, but I don't know if I've even faced it 19 times. I've only seen it a handful of times, enough to know what it's called. And I've seen videos where people play C3 as their first move, or sorry, C4, and that's the English opening. And it also says I've won 55%, 53% of those games. That would also surprise me. I had no idea what to do when it started, but apparently responding with C5, the symmetrical variation, wasn't bad. So let's go to the next key move. Oh, that was a great move. All right. You should end up winning material after the right captures. There was only one good move and you found it. This was a game-changing move, giving you a winning advantage. That's what it says. Okay, that's my inaccuracy. Why is that inaccurate? Man, I was so proud of that. You remember, if you watched earlier in the video, that it skewers the queen to this rook. And even if the rook wasn't back there, it hits this undefended pawn. And even if they took it with the rook, I would get a rook for a bishop, and then we'd be looking at a queen trade. So what was so bad? What should I have done instead? I had apparently had something much better. It was this other rook to go there. Really? Oh, that's the best. Look at that. That's 3 whole nother points of advantage. I'm now threatening to win. Well, you know what? I did that after the queen was gone. That's what happened. Right there. Yeah, see? I got that bishop. Okay, that went by too fast, so I don't know if I missed a faster mating method. It's possible, because I often do. But I did find it. And so we have beaten the Pokimane-bot, and we will move on to the... there's a bot called Laura. Laura from Austria. Maybe Laura. I don't know. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.